Battleground was WWE's last event before SummerSlam 2014. It featured plenty of matches that were intended to help fuel and build the rivalries that were heading towards the second biggest show of WWE's year. The action kicked off with a bout on the pre-show that featured Adam Rose taking on Fandango. Not much can be said here, as the match itself was pretty short, and the only highlight of the match was Summer Rae and Layla slapping Fandango in the face. Adam Rose got the win here. The second match of the night was also in the pre-show, and it was the Funkadactyl fight, as Naomi and Cameron officially squared off after the duo broke up. This match was short, and it featured Cameron getting the victory over Naomi via pinfall. Not much can be said about this match either. It was mainly just a pre-show filler, and I'll expect these two to continue their rivalry until SummerSlam, where it might be on that pre-show as well. The first official match on the Battleground pay-per-view was the 2 out of 3 Falls World Tag Team Championship match that featured the Tag Team Champion Usos taking on Harper and Rowan of the Wyatt family. This match was unquestionably the bout of the night, as these two teams delivered yet another great performance in the ring. The Wyatts took the first fall, but the Usos came back and scored the next 2 falls, thus retaining their tag team straps. This rivalry is a great tag team division feud for the WWE, and these two teams keep putting on incredible matches night in and night out. I would expect another match between these two to happen at SummerSlam with some sort of stipulation, with the tag team belts being on the line. And I would also expect the Wyatts to finally come away with the tag team championships at that pay-per-view. What followed the tag team championship match was the Divas Championship match, as Paige challenged AJ Lee for the Divas Championship. This match was okay to watch, and in the end AJ Lee ended up retaining her title against Paige in a battle of the frenemies. Following what happened on Raw though, it is obvious that a rematch will take place between these two at SummerSlam, as Paige officially turned on AJ after attacking her on Raw. It should be interesting to see Paige now as a full-fledged heel, taking on the new face champion AJ Lee. Next was a battle that was reminiscent of the WWE during the 1980s, as the hero of the Russian Federation Rusev took on the real American Jack Swagger. After a very uncomfortable opening promo by Lana in which she mentioned the tragedy that recently happened in Ukraine, the match got underway as these two big behemoths beat the snot out of each other. The ending was pretty cheap though, as Rusev won via a countout, and then he went on to attack Swagger after the match was officially over. I think these two will continue this America vs. Russia rivalry all the way until SummerSlam, where they will have some sort of gimmick match, perhaps a flag match, to settle the feud once and for all. Rollins vs. Ambrose was the next scheduled match on the card, but Ambrose was thrown out of the building earlier in the night, allowing Rollins to win the match by forfeit. However, Ambrose was able to sneak back into the arena and completely ambush Rollins, and these two brawled all over the place. This really helped fuel the rivalry, as it continued to build Rollins as a heel, while building Ambrose as a psychotic, loose cannon face character. I personally cannot wait for the SummerSlam payoff match between these two, with Rollins' briefcase perhaps on the line, as this match should be a contender to steal the show at SummerSlam. Y2J vs. Bray was next. In the end, Jericho won with the code breaker, but the match itself was pretty average, as I was expecting way more between Wyatt and Jericho. It's obvious that this rivalry is going to continue all the way through SummerSlam, as Wyatt attacked Jericho the following night on Raw. Hopefully at SummerSlam, these two can perform in a match much better than the one they had at Battleground. The Battle Royal for the vacant Intercontinental Championship was next, and in the end, The Miz came out on top after last eliminating Dolph Ziggler to win the Intercontinental title for himself. The match itself had some pretty cool spots, as Kofi Kingston was once again able to get the spotlight all on himself with his Battle Royal acrobatics. The Battle Royal itself was very predictable, as I called the result of this match very early. Early on, and pretty much throughout the entire match, you saw The Miz lying on the ground outside of the ring. He didn't go over the top rope, so technically he wasn't eliminated. And as I guessed, he ended up winning the Battle Royal. Personally, I was pulling for Ziggler, as the guy is incredible in the ring and really deserves another push. Miz, on the other hand, is a guy I am not a fan of, and his heat that he draws is similar to that of what X-Pac drew when he was still with the WWE. And I'm not just being biased because The Miz is from Cleveland. My guess is that Miz and Ziggler will continue to battle through SummerSlam, with the title being on the line, After all, Ziggler did pick up a win over The Miz on Raw the night after Battleground. The final match of the night was a Fatal 4-Way WWE Championship match between Roman Reigns, Randy Orton, Kane, and the WWE World Heavyweight Champion, John Cena. This match was alright, but it did feature some neat spots, like Orton getting speared through a barricade by Roman Reigns. As expected, Cena won and retained the title. But throughout the match, WWE continued to hint at a possibility of a Kane vs. Orton rivalry, as well as a Cena vs. Reigns rivalry. I think that Orton vs. Kane will continue to develop into its own rivalry and happen at SummerSlam. But personally, I'm not too excited about this, as we saw this rivalry in 2012. Cena vs. Reigns does look interesting, as it is an old lion vs. new lion affair. But with Lesnar coming back and challenging Cena for the title on Raw, I think Cena vs. Reigns will happen later on down the road. With Lesnar's return, I'd expect to see Reigns either get involved with Orton and Kane, or perhaps battle Triple H at SummerSlam. I just wonder if WWE fans, however, are going to get tired of Roman Reigns, much like they did John Cena, as Reigns is being pushed and groomed to be the next face of the WWE once Cena steps out of the spotlight. Overall, the pay-per-view was pretty average, and to me it didn't really add a lot to the feuds heading into SummerSlam. If you didn't watch it, you didn't miss much. The only thing spectacular about this pay-per-view was the Tag Team Championship match. However, WWE does usually pick up steam and produce great content to watch on Raw and SmackDown before a big show. So, based on that trend, SummerSlam 2014 should be an interesting pay-per-view to watch.